Hey. Hey guys, choose to collect or just choose to collect. You know, do what you want. Choose to collect!
Hey guys, choose to collect.
What's up guys? This Collector Joey here. Make sure you choose to collect.
I choose to collect, and you should too.
Hey guys, choose to collect.
What is up, Hot Toys 1/6 scale community? We got issue number 34 of the Bugle 6, and I'm here with my friend Adam 12, and we are going to be having a great time talking about some Star Wars with you guys, because that's pretty much all we have this week is a bunch of Star Wars. We got some other stuff to talk about too, some fun games to play. Really looking forward to today's show. I have a couple test games for Adam 12 as well if we have some time, and I would just like to start off with, man, how are you doing?
Brick, I'm doing really well. It's Saturday evening here in the East Coast. I have my evening beer lining. We don't get sponsored by Line and Google. Summer Shandy. You know, it's May, so
Yes.
Got to break open the Summer Shandy.
You know, every time I see Line and Google, and I love Line and Google. It's good stuff. But every time I see the Summer Shandy, I would think back of when Buffalo Wild Wings had like a special. I don't know if it was nationwide or what, but they had a Summer Shandy chicken wing, and it was so good. It was so good. And a lot of times, a lot of times they're like special edition stuff. It's kind of like, you know, it's fine. But Summer Shandy one was good. Yeah, guys, we got a lot to do. We got 10 in the house right now. Just getting started. So awesome. I don't have a beer. I've got my coffee in my Seoul Korea cup. I used to live in Seoul, which is why I have this cup. And yeah, just drinking some coffee late at night because, you know, why not? And it's going to keep me up all night, hang out with the kids later. And he's got coffee too.
I got both. I got coffee.
Hey, you know what? I got to find.
I got my Darth Vader water bottle too.
There you go. I got some whiskey right here too, if I want to pop that open at some point. So, but yeah, good to be here with you, man. And really looking forward to it. I want to start off the night. I want to ask what your favorite 3 figures, the top of your head, don't think too hard, that you have in your collection are. No specific.
We're talking Hot Toys figures, right?
Yeah.
1/6. Top 3 favorite figures. Battle Damage. It's on clearance. I guess not as many people want it, but I love the figure. Battle Damage Mark 85 Iron Man. To me, first of all, I think it's an incredible. It's a second or third figure I bought. So there's that. but it's an incredible likeness to Robert Downey Jr.
Mhm.
And it reminds me of one of my favorite cinematic experiences, seeing Avengers Endgame on opening night.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So that, just that whole scene, and I have it posed, I am Iron Man,
Yes.
with him kneeling down. So that's one. Right behind, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but duck my head. Mandalorian Luke. It's right behind my head.
Okay. That's a
That's
cool
the
Luke.
first Hot Toys figure I got.
Oh, really? Okay. I think I remember hearing that story.
So again, sentimental value. So
Yeah.
it's not the best looking figure I have, but it's a favorite. And then I'd say battle damage Obi-Wan Darth Vader.
Ooh.
I love like the cracked helmet where you see Anakin's face, and that was my first pre-order actually.
Okay. Wow.
That figure, and I love that figure. I love how I have him. The chest plate and the belt.
Yeah,
And
that
the
figure is
lightsaber
so
are
nice.
lit up, and I don't
Yeah.
have most of my figures that can be lit up. I don't. I have some, but it's a lot of wiring. But
Yeah.
that one I think looks really cool lit up. It's
for sure.
I'll a camera view, but I love that figure. So I guess those are my top 3: 2 Star Wars and a Marvel.
So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna steal Geo, the movie canon's game here. Keep, gift, and destroy those 3.
Oh boy.
just starting off here, guys.
Keep Luke, because that was the first figure I got, and
Okay.
that was from the Boston Comic Con that I went to with my wife and daughter 2 years ago, the Fan Expo. So that to me is a great memory of that event.
Yeah.
Gift Iron Man, because I love that film and I love that figure. I don't want to see that figure go away. I guess I'd have to destroy Darth Vader.
Oof. Well, there's plenty of Darth Vaders out there, but that one is like one of the better figures. I mean, that is such a nice Vader. No, thank you for playing that real quick. Guys, I do want to, before I get to the chat here, I do want to share a screen here and thank everybody for being part of the Brickyard. Guys, if you're not part of the Brickyard yet, make sure to do that if you are wanting to, because for only $2.99, you get some really cool emojis. You get to be part of the giveaways. You also get to have like first dibs on some videos that I'm putting out, shorts, and also certain polls that I'm putting. A lot of the polls I put out for like the public, but there are some here and there that I put out to you guys that I just want to hear from you. But more stuff is coming for the Brickyard, just so you guys know. We got a lot coming for the Brickyard, and I'm keeping that under wraps for now. But stay tuned for that, because it's gonna get a little while. It's gonna get fun. And yes, you get a sticker. If you haven't gotten your sticker yet, being part of the Brickyard, please let me know. I'll send that to you right away. If you want one.
Stickers.
Everyone likes stickers, and each year there'll be a new sticker. Okay, guys. That being said, let's go ahead and stop sharing that and check in with the chat. We got 14 in the house. Just dropped down to 12. We got the movie canon. Gio, what is up? Saying hello, collectors. He is part of the Brickyard and having a good time with it too. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, definitely do so. He's got a couple of great shows. He loves talking about movies, does a lot with his memberships as well, and has a really good figures talk as well with my friend here, One Adam 12, on it a lot, very often, along with a few other great people in the community. So go check his channel out if you haven't already. Make sure to do so, whether you're watching the live stream or the replay. We got One Adam 12 saying hello to the chat. Thank you, Adam. We got Valkyrie Magnus in the house. Good evening, my friends and collectors. Geo, Adam, Brick, Artemis. Good evening to you too, Valkyrie. Hello, community of collectors. Hit the like button, says 12-inch Moose Dream. Part of the Brickyard as well. The goats in the community, always watching live streams and being super supportive to everybody. And always getting some good hauls, man. Let us know what you got recently, because I feel like this guy's always got something coming in, which is
he's the
amazing.
king of the deals.
He's a king of the deals, baby. Let's see here. We got you guys just kind of talking amongst each other. All right, we got King Churro in the house, another Brickyard member. Hello, gentlemen, collectors. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you too. Love the Spawn logo. Will we ever get a new Spawn movie? Will it ever happen? I keep hearing it's greenlit, and then it's not, and then it's going, and then it's not. Let me know.
They're gonna mine that IP.
Man, they got to do something with it. I heard that he might be in Invincible because there's like a scene with like dimensions and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I'm only midway through the season 3, so I don't know if that actually happened yet or not. But I heard that might happen, which makes sense because he, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I know this. The guy who created Spawn, he did Venom.
Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane. He, helped create Image Comics, and that's where Invincible is right now established. So, yes, 12-inch Moose Dream. You know what? I know for a fact I haven't sent you a sticker yet. So if you want a sticker, let me know and DM me on Instagram. I will send you a sticker. Let's see here. The king of the deals. Yes. We have Austin Collects in the house. Star Wars hype is flowing. Happy Saturday, Brick. Happy Saturday to you too, Austin. Thank you for being here. Yes, we got a lot of Star Wars talk to talk about today. And, Wolfpack is coming up on Wednesday. And we were kind of hoping that we'd have a lot of Star Wars talk for Wolfpack, but it kind of came, I think it was Thursday night. I have a feeling next week for Wolfpack is going to be a lot of Thunderbolts talk. I have a feeling.
I just saw the movie last night, and it's fantastic.
Man, I was supposed to see that yesterday. I bought the tickets, and then I decided we couldn't go because, well, we have a baby, and we changed our mind.
Precedence.
We were like, well, we could take the baby with, he's 3 months, and he'll probably just sleep. It's during the day, it's a matinee or whatever, and no one, a few people will be there. And then I was like, it's a new movie. Even if there's one person there seeing a new movie and the baby makes one noise, it's kind of rude. So I was like, I'm not going to take him in. So we got a refund, and yes. Jar Jar. Go ahead.
No, I remember that time when Emily was little. There was like a 3 or 4 year period where maybe we saw 1 or 2 movies a year. And actually I think I saw them by myself because I don't think Milo went. So. But then, she gets old enough and you start going. Then you got to see some of the kid movies that some I liked, some I wasn't crazy about.
Like Moana, Frozen.
Yeah. But now she sees what I see. Now she sees what I see. That's good English. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. My oldest is he's a very big sports kid. Like he loves sports. He knows more about sports than I do these days, which is crazy because I know a lot about like football and stuff. And then my middle one is all about superheroes. He likes to be scared, so he likes to watch like anything from Scooby-Doo to Venom. Like I'll let him watch Venom every now and then, and he's like, oh, and he kind of closes his eyes at some parts. So he's like the superhero kid, and we'll see what the baby is when he gets older. Maybe a mix of both. But yeah, Jar Jar is a grail. Yes, you know what, man? I cannot wait to talk about that figure. I have not talked about him yet, and I am super excited. Real quick, 12-inch Moose Dream saying, I secured a Cherry Blossom Stormtrooper yesterday. Now I'll try to make nice. Yeah. How do you pronounce that? Ahari?
Hari?
I'm guessing that's like the thing that goes around him, right? So okay. Yeah, I'm wishing you luck right now, man. Good luck, because that would be really, really cool if you're able to add that to the figure. Yeah, part of me wishes like it would have been nice to go to Star Wars Celebration and have a chance to get these figures, and but part of me too is, well, I feel like we are going to get another dark side Anakin coming soon. It's got to happen. I mean, and then the Grogu is only like 270, 275, so that's a great deal because I think the first one was like 400.
Yeah, that'll be available here.
Yeah.
It's on sale for Sideshow, actually.
Yeah.
Pre-order.
And that's super exciting. So I'm still contemplating getting that one. Yeah, guys, just a lot of Star Wars stuff. I saw Revenge of the Sith with Jedi Knights Watch last weekend. That was a lot of fun to see in theater. I think I saw you see it with your daughter.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun, man. I really wanted to get the popcorn bucket, and I'm like, I need a popcorn bucket every time I go to the movie theater, and they didn't have any Star Wars left.
Yeah,
And
same. They were sold out by the time we were there.
Oh, it just bothered me. But then I saw one popcorn bucket. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it because why not? And it was a Snow White popcorn bucket. So I bought a Snow White popcorn bucket and brought it into a Star Wars movie because why not?
Somebody's got to buy it.
Somebody's got to buy it. I got to add it to the collection of popcorn buckets. Judge me all you want. Had to get it. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started here with some figures talk. Let's go and talk about you know what? Let's go for it. Let's talk about Jar Jar Binks, man. Because this right here, I feel like my whole entire life I have been fighting with people about two movies. Two. The first one is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay. And the second one, which, oh, by the way, Andrew Garfield got tons of love when he ended up in No Way Home. And then people stopped fighting with me about certain things about Garfield. But the second one is The Phantom Menace. I think The Phantom Menace is by far the most underrated Star Wars film. I think it's one of my favorite. I'm not going to say it's one of the best films because I get it. But it's definitely one of my favorite films. I saw it when I was like 10 or 11 with my mom in the theater, and I had a blast. And I had tried to watch the OT many times as a kid, and I just could not get into them. I don't know if it was because like they're a little slower and my attention span. I don't know what it was, but they were just like okay to me. And then I saw this, and this is really what got me into Star Wars. I started liking the OT trilogy or the original trilogy because I went back and watched them. I started playing some video games for the 64, including the pod racing game, which was a lot of fun. I don't know. There was just something about the Phantom Menace, man, that was just lighthearted, dangerous at the same time because of Darth Maul and what he kind of brought to the table. A fresh new start and something for me at my age, at that time. And I loved Jar Jar. I thought Jar Jar was fun. I thought he was goofy, and I thought he brought a lot of just character. I feel like back in the day they had like C-3PO, R2 for like the kids, and maybe even Yoda. Now they are like up here in tier list, right? I get that. But then you got to bring something new to the table. And I think Jar Jar was just that. And including a young Anakin, which was a lot of fun as well. The pod racing, the Duel of the Fates. There was just a lot of good things about that movie that I enjoy. I like going back to, we look at the prequel trilogy like they're, kind of on a lower level than the original trilogy. But I kind of look at them as like, whenever I think Star Wars, I think about Anakin Skywalker and how he became Darth Vader and the pod racing scene and Darth Maul. Like there's just a part of me that kind of goes back to that. So I'm really excited for Jar Jar Binks, guys. Whether it's Jar Jar, young Anakin, anything from the prequels, I get excited about. So, but I enough of me. Adam, what are you thinking of this Jar Jar? Is this a day one for you?
So, I come at this two perspectives. So I'm an original trilogy kid. I was 3 years old when then Star Wars, later became A New Hope, came out, and I saw that. My parents took me to the Dollar Theater. They used to have Dollar Theaters back then, and I saw it like many times when I was a kid. Empire Strikes Back opening day, and then to me, when the greatest cinematic experience I ever had, my dad let me skip school when I was in fourth grade, to see Return of the Jedi opening day, and what a incredible experience that was. I saw Phantom Menace, and I was so excited. Back in the early days of the internet, before social media, there was the websites like Ain't It Cool News and Dark Horizons and some of these other places that had movie news and spoilers. And I knew basically the whole story of Phantom Menace because I read all the spoiler stuff, and I was so excited for Phantom Menace. And I got tickets a couple weeks in advance. I went with, at the time I was living in Boston. I was in grad school, and my dad came to visit me, and we waited for like 4 hours to get into the theater, and we enjoyed it. Now, I enjoyed the prequels.
Yeah.
Are they as good as the original? No, but Revenge of the Sith to me is very close. I
Sure.
love Revenge of the Sith, but I really like the Phantom Menace, and I like Attack of the Clones too. I think certainly once you get to the arena, the battle arena,
Oh, the arena's great.
I think the rest of that film is that's money, man. That whole scene where the clones show up and the Jedi fight the battle droids and Yoda versus Dooku, that's awesome. And I think everything with Jango and Obi-Wan is really good. So, you can check you can ask my wife. I liked the prequels before it was cool for the OT people to like them. And now that I think now with the sequels, with the Acolyte, some of the negative perceptions that people have had of Disney Star Wars, a lot of the OT people have kind of come around to the prequels. You know what? They're not so bad. I liked them from the beginning. I collected the Hasbro 3 3/4 inch. I remember going to Toys R Us and KB Toys before the movie came out for Midnight Madness, and I filled my cart with figures, including Jar Jar Binks, which I still have.
What a memory, man!
In my basement here somewhere. So down to the Hot Toys figure here. If you go to my YouTube page, you'll see I did a video about this time last year where I said my top 5 figures that I want Hot Toys to do. And in my top 5 list was Jar Jar Binks. Yes. Because, I see this figure through 2 different sets of eyes. At the time, I did see what George Lucas was trying to do. He was smart. He was trying to get the younger generation, when kids at the time, you were young at that age, to get them roped into Star Wars. Because, once you got them hooked, then they'll like the original trilogy. Then they'll keep, liking the saga. So it was a very smart business decision to do that. Just like he had C-3PO and R2-D2 and the Ewoks and Yoda for kids when I grew up. That's what Jar Jar was. I also come at this at a second set as a parent, because I'll tell you, Emily loves Jar Jar Binks. And the first Star Wars film she saw was Episode 1. She loves Episode 1. And she loves Jar Jar. So when she saw this was coming out, she was thrilled. Like, she can't wait to do the unboxing on this. I
can't wait to see it.
No, you asked me, am I day one? I'm not day one because I got like 14 pre-orders. And with everything going on in the world with the tariffs and all that, I'm holding off on doing any pre-orders until that situation settles itself. But am I getting this when it comes out? You bet your life I'm getting this one way or the other.
Heck yeah.
You Sideshow or, if I have to send SEAL Team 6 into China and grab the figure and get it back here, we'll do that.
6. That's great. Yeah, this is definitely a figure I'm getting. I didn't day one it. But as you and many, I'm sure many people know, I'm getting this figure. Like, this is a very, very exciting announcement for me. This is something that I think everybody saw coming, obviously, because of all the teases that we were getting, and I actually kind of felt it coming even before the teases. This is something I've been talking about since like I first started talking about Hot Toys. I always wanted a Jar Jar. I want more from the Phantom Menace, so Jar Jar was always one that I would bring up. And hopefully we get a young Anakin one day, and hopefully we get a Padawan Obi-Wan. So that would be really cool. It needs to happen. It really does need to happen. When it comes to the likeness thing, I think that's a bunch of... Hot Toys has never said that. And even though it doesn't happen often, I don't think it will, like... When people say that, I'm not saying they're wrong. I don't know. I think Anakin's coming. I think that's a figure that a lot of people would get. And I think they will have that coming. Because you look at other toy companies, you look at, if it was a likeness thing, other toy companies wouldn't be able to do it, And I know this is more realistic, but maybe Hot Toys just hasn't put the money on it, But now that they're doing more prequel stuff and these anniversaries, and the generation is growing up to where they can afford these toys, maybe they will do an Anakin or a young Annie. I don't know. But we'll see. I'm really excited for this Jar Jar. Definitely coming home. It does seem a little bare. You don't get a lot with it. I think the price is reasonable though. I was kind of hoping to get like one of those droid heads that you can attach to like his ankle, that would be really cool. I guess you could use that from what was it, the C-3PO that came with one?
You could, and like that picture right there.
I'm
wondering if that's from. Oh, I know what that's from.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's I have the Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he comes with like a break apart battle droid. So that's I believe.
So I might have to get one of those battle droids.
It's either that one or Qui-Gon. I don't know. I have the figure. I don't remember which. I think it's.
Well, I have Qui-Gon, and I don't.
It's
got to be
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to figure out that because that would be pretty sweet to have. Let's see here. Yeah,
I think for the prequels, the must-haves that I believe still remain. Yeah, I think top of that list is a young Anakin Skywalker, and I can't think as you said, the likeness. I know Jake Lloyd's had some challenges with mental health challenges, and sounds like he's doing better, but I can't think his likeness is that expensive. It's not like Ryan Reynolds or Ewan McGregor.
Well, and two, like how
like, hey, I'm here, I'm sitting here. Come, Hot Toys, call me.
How does that work though? Like some movies, some actors, you got to get their exact they have to sign off on their likeness when asked. But I feel like other franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, DC. I feel like when they sign that contract to be part of that movie, they're signing away their likeness. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's part of that contract. So they can make toys and stuff. So, because we have so many figures that you wouldn't think. And then you also have like bigger name actors such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, that, is part of, a lot of other movies, but we get them for Mr. Freeze. Why? Because Hot Toys is able to do Batman stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that works. I know a lot of people, including myself, like to kind of figure that out, but do we really know exactly? No. And I think anything could really happen. So we'll see. But yeah, this Jar Jar is coming home, baby. I cannot wait. Like, look at this.
That's
how could you not want this guy?
And he's got the I think he's got the tongue too, right? You can swap.
Yeah, he's got the magnetic tongue, which is a great touch. Oh my gosh. Master Darcy saying same. I never watched the OT until I watched the prequels. Couldn't get through A New Hope. A New Hope was hard. I like it a lot more now. But yeah, I still think Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. But Revenge of the Sith, something about Revenge of the Sith 2, episode 3, is when I have seen that movie probably 50 times. And I remember when it first came out in theater, I saw it 3 times when I was in high school. But seeing it again in theater, for some reason, I'm thinking there is not a slow part in this movie. Like, this whole entire movie has action. There's suspense everywhere. There's something going on every second of this movie. And I think that's what kind of just pulls at me, like, that Revenge of the Sith is a masterpiece. Like, it really is. And then the way I was talking to Jedi, I was like, the way he kind of, like, at the end, he's like, no, it's almost like theatrical. Like, they meant for it to be like that. And
yeah, I
like that. So
that lightsaber duel that's cut in between Obi-Wan and Anakin and Yoda and Palpatine, I think that's the best. There's a lot of good. It's not like there's bad duels, but to me, that's the best. Yeah. That might be the best final duel sequence in the films. And episode 1's got a great duel with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Well, and then Attack of the Clones.
Return of the Jedi's got a great one.
Yoda. Yeah. I think the top 4 lightsaber duels in live action are in that trilogy.
Yeah.
Now you can say Return of the Jedi 2. I think that has a lot more with dialogue and storytelling more so than, I mean, obviously it's older,
Yeah.
right? I get it. But then they do the sequels. And then it's like, what happens to the cool lightsaber fights? Like what's going on here? So not that the sequels didn't have any good parts, because they did. There's a few in there, but I think the prequels did a lot. I do. Valkyrie saying, I didn't care for Phantom Menace when I first saw it, but rewatched it 20 years later, and I liked it. 12-inch Moose Dream. I was 37 when the Phantom Menace was released. As a person who saw all the OT in theaters, I was disappointed by the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Revenge of the Sith was a nice recovery. Yeah. And I could see that too. Like if I'm older, like an older fan, but then seeing Revenge of the Sith might be like, okay, I can rewatch this trilogy now and maybe like it more the second time or something, and understand like where they were going and what made Revenge of the Sith so good.
I was watching Kevin Smith's podcast the other night, and they had on his co-host Mark Bernardin, and he made a really good point. He said he's around my age, and he said that when he saw, he was born, like he said, he was born like 67, 69. So he was, a kid, early teenager when he saw the original trilogy. And when the prequels came out, he was like 30. And he didn't realize it until a couple of years ago when he rewatched these, that his disappointment in the prequels when he first saw them is that he was disappointed that the Star Wars films didn't age as he did. They were still, the original films were young people. And what he does like, and it was related to, he was talking about Andor. And he says that Andor is made for him at his age. Now, that's an adult Star Wars. And that's what he was looking for when he saw the prequels. But when you look at them with a fresh set of eyes, it's like they're for, it's for kids or kids at heart. Then you don't come at it with that disappointment. No, I didn't. Again, like I said, when I saw them, I didn't have that sort of disappointment. In fact, Phantom Menace, I saw that movie 23 times in the theater. I went every week. It was in the theater like the whole summer, and I went like every week to go see it. Man. I mean, the fact that I saw a movie 23 times is kind of crazy, but whatever.
Hey, what do you think about these? I like that you get the 2 face sculpts here. That's pretty cool. How do you think that's going to work? Did like from the jaw or?
That's a good question. Or is the whole head come off from where the?
Yeah, maybe.
Where it's covering where the tunic is.
Ooh, man.
I do like that.
Then you get 2 sets of ears. I don't know. It says face sculpt, so I'm wondering if like just the face comes off somehow. But that's cool. I like the closed mouth a lot.
Line there. That's good.
Yeah, that is good. Unless it's like behind the jaw.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's the bottom part, not the. From this angle, it's hard to tell.
Yeah. We got 20 in the house, guys. Make sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying the show, and subscribe if you guys haven't yet. But yeah, talking Star Wars today, Phantom Menace, Jar Jar Binks. Guys, let us know down in the comments if you're getting it. I love that tongue. It's so cool, man.
And I can't wait to see what customizers do with this. The people are going to do like a Darth Jar Jar that was like a Lego Star Wars, and also I think they invested money in this sculpt. Hot Toys invested money in this sculpt, so that we're going to see future Jar Jars. Maybe we'll see an ambassador Jar Jar with the robe. Yes. I do think a Darth Jar Jar is in the cards.
I do too. I think that could happen. I think that could really happen. And with this tongue here, it makes me think just a little bit that we there's a chance for young Anakin. With that scene where he gets like electrocuted or whatever, and he's like basically saying he's good. Like I could see Anakin. It'd be great. Oh man, we have a lot of figures to talk about yet, guys. I'm just gonna skim through some of these. So you get so you get 2 interchangeable face sculpts, 2 pairs of interchangeable eyes. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't see that before. The magnetic tongue. You got a few sets of hands here. You get that boring sand base. Great job. Wired ears. That's interesting. And the silicone arms, which is scary, but great at the same time because I like the silicone stuff, but it scares me. Because they can snap. But yeah, this what was this 265?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We need a Padawan Obi-Wan now to go with this.
Oh man,
we have.
really
I mean,
do.
I know some people believe we need a 2.0 on Qui-Gon, and that's fine. But we definitely need a Obi-Wan along with Anakin, and we need a Padme. We need a Queen Amidala.
Oh man, we really need a Queen Amidala. Am I breaking up a little bit, or is that you, Adam? I'm sorry.
I hear you. Am I breaking up?
No, I think both of us froze real quick. Guys, let us know down in the comments if it does get too bad. I apologize. I got a kid playing PlayStation downstairs because he's bored, and sometimes that will take away some internet. Those PS5s, man. 12-inch Moose Dream saying I was first in line for Phantom Menace at my TRU. What's that?
Toys R Us.
Theater? Toys R Us. Okay.
TRU.
Yep. I got my picture in the local paper. Wow, nice. In 1999, dude, that's so cool.
I know you're from the Boston area. At the time I was living there, Moose. I went to the that night. I went to the KB Toys on Brookline Avenue and Harvard Square in Brookline, and then I went to the Toys R Us in Framingham. So if you know the old Toys R Us in Framingham, so maybe you know, maybe you were there.
That's awesome. Dilo the Collector, welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Of course, too sweet to you, brother. Jar Jar's a mouth breather, confirmed. That's another really cool part is when they're, I forget what the vehicle, the I don't know, the water ship is or whatever, and like you got the big fish, like the big dinosaur fish coming up behind them, and
it's always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish. Yeah, I don't know. That movie's fun, man. Let's see here. Everyone kind of just talking amongst each other. Tyria, hello. The face swaps out completely. I sent a photo on Instagram. Oh, nice. Let me see this photo here. Oh, okay. So yeah, it is right between or behind the jaw. Let me share that real quick. Let's see here. Thank you, Tyria, for sending that. Let me figure this out so you guys can see it here in the chat. Yeah, so you see this line here? That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really noticeable. You got the big ears
and
everything, and you're never gonna have like a side view of him, anyways. So
it looks like just a regular ridge on his body or whatever.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. Very, very cool. Hot Toys.
Thank you, Tyria, for pointing that out.
Yeah, thank you, Tyria. Let's see. Big Dog Pound. Jar Jar Binks is a must buy. We don't know how long we will get another one. That's very true. And Big Dog Pound, thank you very much for being here. Adam, let me get a woo.
Woo!
There we go, baby. All right. Moose Dream saying, I see no issues and hear none. Good. Thank you. And then Mitchell Lawrence, what is up, my friend? Saying nothing to do with age. There was comedy aspect in New Hope Empire. Yeah, there's comedy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. He's definitely with Han Solo and all. But let's talk about our next figure, and then we got a game coming up. I want to go ahead and talk. Let me exit out of that real quick. All right. And I think this is going to be another one, Adam, that you are planning on getting. Let me know if I'm right. I'll let you start with this one.
You know, I'm honestly on the fence on this.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I have Rey from the end of Force Awakens. I have Luke, the crate Luke, when he's brushing off, he was not really there. He's this hologram. Spoiler alert for 10-year-old movie. From Last Jedi. And I have Kylo Ren. And I don't know. So now the prequels I like. Prequels I love, actually. Not even like. I love the prequels. The sequels, Force Awakens, I really liked when that came out. I really liked The Force Awakens. And then, in retrospect, I have some issues with the movie.
Sure.
I think it's a crime that you had Han, Luke, and Leia, and you never had them together in 5 minutes in one scene.
Yeah.
But the big issue is not so much that film, even though it's a remake of A New Hope. That's fine. They're trying to get a new generation. I didn't bother me as much. The Last Jedi, in and of itself, is actually a pretty good film. In and of itself, as part of as number 8 in a 9-film saga, not so much. The Rise of Skywalker is a freaking war crime, and Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams should be in prison for that movie. Now, when it comes to Poe Dameron, I really like Oscar Isaac.
Yes.
I like Poe Dameron's character. I think they did him, and I really think they did Finn dirty in Last Jedi and in Rise of Skywalker. So I might get him because I like Oscar Isaac and I liked his character in Force Awakens, which this is from, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not pre-ordering this. I don't know. I'm really on the fence. I might get him. But I tell you, I don't plan on ever selling any of my Hot Toys figures. But if I had to sell my Hot Toys figures, the first 3 to go would be Rey, Kylo Ren, and Luke from Last Jedi.
All the sequels, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to get rid of any, which I don't want to. So I don't know. I mean, this figure looks fantastic. It's a great head sculpt of Poe Dameron, of Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. I'm on the fence on it because I feel like if I get this, I'm endorsing the sequels, and I'm not endorsing the sequels.
Yeah.
Again, Force Awakens was an enormously enjoyable film when I saw it, but
that was an exciting time.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
A dead end. It went nowhere, and that's the sad thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one that's not really on my radar. I really do not need this figure. Now, if he ends up showing up on the movie with Ryan Gosling, then maybe. If I like that movie, then maybe. But yeah, as of right now,
I hope he does.
Yeah, he really
deserves
is.
a redemption.
Yeah, he definitely. Do you think we'll ever get another trilogy?
Yeah, I hate to say it. I think it's a matter of time. I really hate to say it. It's a matter of time before they reboot it. It's just Disney. That's what they do, and they're gonna reboot it. And I just
if they reboot it, would they reboot it from Phantom Menace, or do you think they do the same order?
They might do from episode 1 and reboot it. I don't know. If they're smart, that's what they do. But they're at least going to reboot the original trilogy. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of pushback. I think there's a couple of things they could do. Kathleen Kennedy's not going to change course as long as she's there. But when they get new leadership, which is just a matter of time at Lucasfilm, what I would do is I would go the middle way. And why piss off? Because there are fans of the sequel trilogy, and there's certainly a lot of fans of the OTP and PT who are not happy with the sequels. So the middle way, use what's already available in canon. Use the World Between Worlds, and kind of do what they're doing with Marvel. And that's create like branch universe. And for people who like the sequel trilogy, that's there. They can keep making those characters. They can keep going that, the fates that Luke, Leia, and Han had. That's what happened. But then do another and just recast Han, Luke, and Leia, and give us like the Thrawn trilogy, or give us a new trilogy with those characters recast. Sebastian Stan, say as Luke, he's been fan casted. You already have a Han. Alden Ehrenreich, I thought, did a pretty good job as Solo. I think that movie was hurt by it came out after Last Jedi, and a lot of people
Mhm.
there's a lot of negative backlash on that. And recast Leia. It's easy to do. You have Lando. You have the Gambino guy as Donald Glover. So you have people, and he did a good job, I think, as Solo and as Lando Calrissian. And then what I think they need to do is they need to there's already canon established, like the Knights of the Old Republic. We're going to talk about some of those figures,
Mhm.
and let's see that story. Let's see
Yeah.
some of the things that we've seen in books and comics and video games. Go back to the legend stuff. Some great stories, and tell those stories, and listen to the fans. Give the fans what they want.
Get the fans what they want before Star Wars dies. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, and the sad thing is, if they keep putting out, I mean, Andor, sure, for the adults, but if they keep putting out stuff that they're shooting, they're kind of aiming for kids, right? And it's failing. The kids, when they get older, if it's failing for the kids when they get older, they're not going to care. So what's Star Wars going to look like in 10 to 15 years, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what scares me. I mean, yes, Star Wars is always going to be around. It's never going away. I'm not saying that, but you look at what Phantom Menace did for the younger generation, and then when they grew up, they had that trilogy. Younger generation doesn't really have anything. Like Mandalorian wasn't for kids. It wasn't for 12-year-olds. That was more for like adults, I feel, or older teenagers, maybe, to kind of bring back that old Star Wars feel. The Grogu, I guess you could argue Grogu was like cute and everybody wanted the Grogu plushie and whatnot, but I can tell you right now, my kids love Grogu. They don't love Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody, just because people like Grogu doesn't mean they're watching Mandalorian. So I Disney, you got to do something before Star Wars just kind of crashes. You gotta make some good stuff. Hopefully the Mandalorian movie is great. But I mean, we've gotten Rogue One, we've gotten some good stuff. I'm not saying we haven't. Kenobi I thought was fun. But Kenobi was another one that was for like my generation. You know what I mean? The ones that grew up with the prequels.
Star Wars is on the verge of, and I'm a Star Trek fan, so I say this with love. Star Wars is on the verge of becoming Star Trek. It's going to be, if Disney's not careful, it's going to become niche. And Star Trek is kind of niche, and it's even more niche after the years because they just not once they're no longer doing Kirk and Spock or the right the original way. Those guys have passed, and they moved past Next Generation, and the new Trek has become very, very divisive, and that's what Star Wars has become.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
All right. Let's say hello to Mr. Jose Plus. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in and watching the show. We're having a lot of fun. We're talking prequels. We're talking the death of Star Wars. Knock on wood. We're just having fun talking Star Wars figures, and we're gonna head into some games here in a second as well after we talk about this figure. But yeah, I think this is I don't know. I'm like 20% chance gonna buy this. Only way I'm gonna buy this is if he's in that Ryan Gosling film, and I cannot even remember what it's called. Starfighter. Starfighter. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. Before we go on to the next Star Wars figure, I want to present a choose to collect game. Okay. So we all know choose to collect, guys. Choose to collect. That's the big thing. That's the big saying around here. We want to choose to collect, whether you have a good day or bad day. Whether you got a promotion, you want to celebrate, choose to collect, buy a figure, celebrate. If you had a bad day and you're just like, oh, man, what a terrible week. Guess what's going to make you feel better? Collecting. Choose to collect, baby. I have a game because Adam's already talked about a figure that he chose to collect. I have pretty much talked about that too. And so I'm like, okay, what can I do for people that have already talked about that? Well, we're going to play the choose to collect game. Okay. So I picked 6 figures that have not been released yet. Okay, Adam? Now, if you could choose to have one come to your house right now that you are able to buy, purchase, come to your house right now and get it before anybody else, Which figure out of these 6 would you choose?
Jar Jar
To
Binks, Star Wars Forever.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I love it, man.
My number
Love
2
it.
would be Jonathan Crane.
Okay. Yeah. Which one? Are there any here that you're not choosing to collect?
I would get. Well, I'm definitely not getting the Terminator because I bought Gramps 1.0, so I'm
That's
happy
right.
with
Yep.
that. Not because of nothing against the figure. I'm actually on the wait. I should have gone for the Scarlett Johansson Artisan.
Man.
I had a chance. I'm like, I don't need this. And in retrospect, I'm like, I want this. So I'm on the wait list.
I wish I would
those.
have known, man, because I had 2 of her. Because I got one with the Iron Man thing and one without, and I deleted the one without because I couldn't find anybody that wanted it. But I guess you said you didn't really want it before, so I feel that way with some figures too. I that's how I felt with the Return of the Jedi Vader. I was like, I didn't want it at first, and now I kind of want it. So yeah, I think for me, I would, if I could have one right this second, I would go Black Widow. If I could get her in right away, yeah, Black Widow, and then probably Jar Jar, man. I'm really excited for Jar Jar. I really am. Man. Big Dog Pound says the only figure I would pass on this list is Mr. Freeze. And Mr. Freeze is cool, but I get it. I get it.
I would agree on that too.
Yeah, I get it.
Not my favorite Batman film.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites either, but I think personally I'd rather want it. I'd rather choose Mr. Freeze than Scarecrow. Now the Scarecrow looks amazing and I love that trilogy, but there's something about having a Mr. Freeze in the collection. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah.
You know what's funny about this, Brick, is that how much your one's collection can evolve, just from when a figure goes on sale. So I mentioned the Black Widow at the time. I didn't have space, but my father-in-law is moving into our house in a few weeks, and so I had a bed behind me, and so we moved that out. I cases up, and there's now room for figures I didn't have before, and so the Black Widow's one, but that Winter Soldier, particularly after seeing Thunder, different version.
Can I just ask you?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I have to ask you. Was it good?
It was fantastic.
I want to see it so bad. Okay,
I really enjoyed it.
It feels good hearing that there's a good Marvel movie again.
It's surprising on many levels, and but I'd love to do a spoiler show. We can talk about it.
Spider-Man.
It's a good show. No Spidey. No. No,
I'm just kidding. I figured. I'm messing.
So, but I kind of moved some stuff around, and I have the 1.0 stealth suit and Steve Rogers figure with Nick Fury on his shelf there. I'm like, you know what? The Winter Soldier would look kind of cool next to them there. But your collection evolves over time. I never thought I'd get vehicles, and I got the DeLorean, and I just got the Batmobile 89 this week.
Oh, nice.
So because things change, I guess.
Yeah. I wish I could fit a 89 Batmobile in the room. I can't. With Lego stuff and everything, I'm building a Razor Crest right now. I've got a Lion Knight's Castle and Titanic and the UCS Millennium Falcon. It's I can't, I can't fit everything in the house. So, it is what it is.
Do you have a Star Destroyer or a Death Star?
I don't. Just the UCS Millennium Falcon. I have an X-Wing, Millennium Falcon. I have the DeLorean vehicle wise. I have the Batwing, which is right there. You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
And I have Titanic as a vehicle. I'm trying to think. I have the Hogwarts train express, and I have the Technic set for the Batman Batmobile.
Ooh.
which was my least favorite set putting together. I will never buy a Technic set again. Those things are a pain. You got like all the little things that you put into the hole. Like, I can't do it. I can't. Not my type of building. But yeah, I need more Star Wars stuff. I do have the Razor Crest as well. That's being built. You can see them right there.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm about halfway through that. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, let's talk about another figure, and then we'll go on to some top or bottom. I kind of want to talk about this though. I want to take a break from Star Wars since the rest of the episode is going to be Star Wars, and I want to talk about finally some in-art news, right? Like, where has in-art been? I'm still waiting on my Paul Atreides, like, to this day, and it's really bothering me. I don't have an in-art figure. I'm waiting to get my Paul, and hopefully he comes sooner than later. At least this year would be nice. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter. I really, really am. Especially like for me, honestly, you know what's very comparable? Like you as like a kid at my age when Harry Potter was big was probably when Star Wars was big. Like the big thing for my generation was Harry Potter. The books were released. People were lined out the door at bookstores. Like J.K. Rowling actually made kids want to read again. And then they made the movies. And I remember standing in line for that first movie. And each movie did very well and got better and better. Anyways, Professor Snape looks great. I'm going to zoom in on this head sculpt real quick. Again, here we go. It just looks really, really good. Unfortunately, by me saying how much I love Harry Potter, I don't have any of the Harry Potter figures. I want them, but they're too pricey for me. Do you have any of the Potter figures? Are you a Harry Potter fan, Adam? Or
I'll give you true confessions with One Adam 12.
Oh, I've never seen Harry Potter.
So I've seen a couple of the movies, and I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Now Emily loves the Harry Potter films. So my not liking it, I'm gonna be gentle. Has simmered since she became a fan. I can't hate something my daughter likes. But my true confession is this is the lamest. This is really lame. But you mentioned when you were a fan of it when it was, and I do remember how huge it was. My nephews who are a couple of them a little bit younger than you. They're in their late 20s. One's 30. They were huge fans at the time, and they weren't as much into Star Wars. They liked the prequels, and I remember like thinking, the time like F Harry Potter, Star Wars, and that used to tick me off. That like, what's this Harry Potter stuff? Star Wars is king.
Yeah, because those movies are coming out around the same time.
Yeah, it was jealousy on my part that like no. Star Wars is, at the top of the pyramid, and everyone else should be under them. So a very petty, jealous, like uber geek type of nerd jealousy that unfortunately some of us are have. So I never got into and then at the same time, around the same time, the Lord of the Rings films came out, and to me that
Lord of the Rings,
to me, like that was. There was violence in it, and it was and I know there's violence in some of the later Harry Potter films, but that really appealed to me. So I just never got into this, but I know Emily really likes it, and I love Alan Rickman as an actor. I wish they made Die Hard figures of McClane.
Wouldn't that be cool?
And his character, I would get those in a New York Minute.
Yes, me too. I love Die Hard, man. I love Alan Rickman. Him as Snape. Like, because I remember reading the first couple books before the first movie came out, and no joke, I feel like between him and Harry Potter were the only two that I picked. That's what I pictured when I read the book. Like exactly. So I feel like casting wise, they did a really good job. I know they're making a new Max HBO series.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll be able to get a lot more detail because I'm sure full 10 episode season will be the first movie or something like that. So that's really cool. I just don't know how to take it because they're getting new actors for every character. It's going to be weird for me But I'm looking forward to it. I wonder how dark they're going to go because it's Max. If they're actually going to go a little darker or not. But yeah, I think Snape looks good. My favorite character is Snape in all of Harry Potter. So this is really cool for me. I would say between between Snape, Hagrid, and Ron are probably my 3 favorite characters in Harry Potter. Yeah, rest in peace to Alan Rickman, great British actor. Yeah, definitely. 100%. Definitely. I loved him a lot in Sweeney Todd as well. The first time I saw Sweeney Todd, I couldn't. I couldn't. But then I watched it again with subtitles on, and it helped a lot. I was like, oh, this is actually a pretty good movie. This is a good film. We got Jedi Knights Watch in the house telling me to keep waiting. Yeah, I'm going to keep waiting. Too sweet, brother. Too sweet. Thank you for being here, sir. But yeah, I am probably, as much as I love Harry Potter, I'm probably going to pass on this figure. There are just some things that I don't need as figures personally. And I kind of made my decision that I don't need Harry Potter as figures. Now, if I one day find like a small statue or something to put in here, you know, to kind of portray my love for Harry Potter, then sure, I got Harry Potter Lego stuff. But yeah, I don't know, spending $500 on a Harry Potter figure or something, it's just, or even $1,000 on 2 Hobbits when Lord of the Rings comes. And I think Lord of the Rings, that's the best trilogy. Between that and I will say 2 Star Wars, between those 2, top 2 trilogies of all time, maybe with the Dark Knight. But yeah, good stuff, man. Anybody in the chat getting Snape? Good Game of Thrones question here. Where is the Game of Thrones line? Yeah, I feel like they might be canceling that or something because we haven't heard anything. Now, as soon as I say that, we're probably going to get something Monday, you know?
The only thing we've seen from them is that Batman Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight 1/12 figure. That's the only thing I've seen from him since this year so far. Yeah,
is that the only thing since what released last? Paul Atreides or
was it Superman?
But ever since then, it's just been that 1/12 scale. Blurred Dad Life, welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Fun fact, Mitchell Lawrence says, fun fact, Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter, he used to live near me in London before he... Wow, really?
Cool.
That's really cool. I actually read the book, Draco Malfoy, the kid that I can't think of his name for some reason, but the actor who played him wrote a book, and it was really interesting, like his point of view of going in for, you know, the auditions and growing up being Draco Malfoy. I love memoirs a lot. Like that's what I love to read. So it was cool reading something from the Harry Potter life of Harry Potter. Now going back into Star Wars, we're gonna do some top or bottom. We got a couple top or bottoms that I think you guys in the chat are gonna have a lot of fun with. I know I'm gonna have fun with Adam here trying to figure it out. And then we have a couple more figures to talk about before we end the show. Guys, next week we will have a giveaway. Flavio will be back as well. Not next week, but the next episode. So 2 weeks from today, we're going to do a giveaway. Also, remember that the money that we get from the channel does go straight to the giveaway, whether it's a shirt, whether it's a gift card of some kind. So yeah, we'll probably be doing a giveaway next episode. So be ready for that. It's going to be a good one. Okay. Let's go into a little top or bottom. All right, guys, we got 22 in the house. Let's keep it up. Hit that like button, guys. It really does go a long way for the video, for the channel. So hit that like button, guys. We got a top or bottom. And now I kind of went with what Adam was kind of giving me an idea for, because I was like, Adam, I can't figure out a top or bottom, man. Like I'm struggling. And then he brought up Star Wars. I'm like, duh, I should do Star Wars stuff. So yes, we got top or bottom Star Wars. I tried to make this as even as possible. I really, really, really did. So at the top, guys, we got Star Wars Rebels. We got Ahsoka. We got The Acolyte. Okay. We got New Hope and Return of the Jedi. And down below, we have Clone Wars, Mandalorian, the show, Empire Strikes Back, Phantom Menace, and, of course, Revenge of the Sith. Now, I understand Acolyte is probably the weakest of the bunch. Would you agree, Adam?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
But I put it with the top because that has 2 OT movies up there. So I'm like, let's make it a little even here. Try to settle the score here. But I did leave out Attack of the Clones. I chose to put in Ahsoka instead. I almost brought in the Kenobi show instead of Mandalorian, but I was like, I gotta have Mandalorian in here somewhere. So I asked you, Adam, and everyone in the chat, are you guys picking top or bottom?
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go through this here. Rebels, I really enjoyed. I'm not as much into the. I've watched. I haven't seen every episode of the Clone Wars. I've seen a lot of them. Some of the story arcs are good, are very good. Some they kind of go on these side quests that kind of lose me. But I do like the Clone Wars. I like Rebels more. I think Rebels is a very good show.
Yeah.
Ahsoka, I really liked Ahsoka. I know not everyone was crazy about it. I liked it a lot. My only complaint was in is I thought it ended too soon. It ended kind of abruptly. I wanted more of a resolution in that first season. So I'm looking forward to the second season of that. And I have several of the figures. I got a couple more on the way. Acolyte, if you didn't have Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and then Rise of Skywalker, maybe people wouldn't have made as big a deal about the Acolyte. But Acolyte came around. It saw Rise of Skywalker and it said, "Hold my beer." It's horrible. It's one of the worst things ever. A New Hope. I mean, we wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for A New Hope.
Right.
Return of the Jedi. That actually, it's not the best Star Wars film, but it actually might be my favorite Star Wars film. Just because the way they wrap things up and everything between Luke and Han, or Luke and Vader, I just love. And then introduced, you see him they retcon the Emperor in later in Empire, but you finally, there's the first real appearance of, at least filmed wise, of Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor. He was only 38 years old when he filmed that. Is that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was only 38 years old, and he was amazing. I mean, that dude is the GOAT. Okay,
yeah, he really is.
Like I said, Clone Wars, there's some good stuff. Not crazy about everything. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are awesome. Season 3, there's a few good episodes, and then you got the episode with Lizzo and Jack Black, which I'm like, ugh. But it wasn't a total failure, that third season. It just wasn't as good as season 1 and 2. Empire Strikes Back, probably the best Star Wars film. I mean, it's the GOAT. Episode 1, I like episode 1. So we just talked about this at the beginning of the show. And Revenge of the Sith, it's probably my 4th favorite Star Wars film. Sometimes it might be my 3rd favorite Star Wars film, honestly. I've seen it a lot. And every time I see it, I just, again, that second half, once Mace Windu goes to confront the Emperor, it's like gold.
Goes from 10 to 11. It's like, whoa.
I'm an original Star Wars trilogy guy. So therefore, I'm going to shock everyone. I'm going with bottom. Ooh. Because you have Empire, which is the GOAT. You have Revenge of the Sith. You have The Mandalorian, episode 1. And I'm sorry, but the Acolyte just,
Acolyte throws it off a little bit.
I can't reward that.
Now, if I would have put Kenobi in there instead of Acolyte, would that have changed it maybe?
Yeah, that may have changed it.
Okay. Yeah.
That could have changed it, but the Acolyte, it would have been close, but that could have changed it.
Okay. Well, now, Adam, go ahead.
If you threw in, say if you took out Clone Wars or The Mandalorian and you threw in Rise of Skywalker, then I probably have to go back. I have to go up to the top because
Okay.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
is the
I
worst
thought
thing.
about putting some
To me-
sequels in there, but I
Yeah. To me,
I
that's
just figured that would kind of
because the way the Rise of Skywalker ended the saga, it's just like I said, people should be in prison for this. That's how bad it is.
Yes. I'm actually going to look. I love Rebels. I could never get into the Clone Wars, but Rebels was fun. It reminded me, honestly, of Aladdin. It was really cool. Like the way it started, right? You have like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like all the characters as well. It was really cool seeing them in Ahsoka. I'm with you. It kind of ended too soon. Waiting for more, but what we had in that show was a lot of fun. Acolyte, whatever. Don't need to talk about it. You got A New Hope, which is a good movie, but I wouldn't say it starts a great franchise, right? It's peak because of what it started, but I still don't think it's a top 3 Star Wars film. Return of the Jedi, absolutely love it. Clone Wars, like I said, I couldn't get into it. Mandalorian was great. I will not repeat what you just said. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie, or my favorite Star Wars film. Phantom Menace is actually probably my favorite. Empire, I know, is the best. And because of that, it's I guess my favorite. I don't know. But Revenge of the Sith, I mean, yeah, I gotta go bottom, man. Like you have Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace for me, and Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is another Star Wars film that's like constant, just on the edge of your seat. Just a great film. Yeah, so bottom for me. Let's see. Mr. Movie Cannon agrees, bottom. And Mitchell saying Clone Wars, the animated series, was fire. Yeah, I gotta try Clone Wars again. I know there's like a specific way to watch the Clone Wars, that it's the way that it's laid out on like Disney or whatever is not the exact order you're supposed to watch it in, which makes it more confusing. Like, I don't know. But Valkyrie saying, Adam, I agree with you 100%. And we got another bottom. So yeah, bottom all around so far. All right, I got another one. You ready? This one might be a little tricky. Let's see. That is Star Wars characters. All right. So top or bottom for characters. I thought about making this like a speed top or bottom, where it's like, 1 versus 1, then the next one, like, and you only had like 3 seconds to choose kind of thing. And it's like click, click, click. But I was like, no, I'll keep top or bottom the same here. I got Anakin up at the top, pretty much against Luke Skywalker. No. And then we have Princess Leia, Padme. We got Boba Fett at the top and Mandalorian at the bottom. We got Han Solo at the top and Chewie at the bottom. That's tough on its own. And C-3PO and R2-D2 up against each other. So this one's kind of fun. I don't even know which one I like more right now, but I want to hear what you think, Adam, and chat.
Now, is these characters or the characters are when this is pictured? So in other words, Luke as when he was in A New Hope, or Luke as a character, his whole character arc?
The whole character arc. Yeah. This is like their character overall, not just like this specific scene or from one movie, like their whole character arc.
This is really tough because my top 2 favorite characters are Anakin / Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Oh no. Got him.
I think I gotta go with the top because Anakin / Darth Vader has one of the best character arcs in science fiction and in movies. To go from a kind-hearted boy pod racer, the best of intentions, to a tough, a fierce warrior Jedi Knight, to a Jedi Slayer who turns on his own, kills younglings, and becomes the enforcer for the Emperor, assists the Empire, certainly assists them. If he didn't outright commit genocide, he certainly stood by as genocide took place.
Yeah.
And then at the end, through the love of his son, redeems himself. Not redeems his actions, but he destroys the greatest evil that galaxy had known in Palpatine. I think that's a tremendous character arc. Leia, I think she's just, to me, is a better developed character than Padme. Not necessarily a better actress, but maybe better portrayed, better written. I don't know.
Yeah.
Boba Fett. Din Djarin's a better character. I mean, but Boba Fett's kind of the OG. A Mandalorian. And Han Solo. I love Chewbacca, but Han Solo is just such a cool character, and I actually like R2 more than 3PO, and R2 is actually the secret hero of the saga. I mean, if it wasn't for R2, he's the one who fixed the shields on the Queen starship in Episode 1. He helped Anakin blow up the Trade Federation ship, and all through along the way, he in A New Hope, he helped on the Death Star. He had the plans for the Death Star, so he's the hero of the saga. But I got to go up the top because of Anakin and because of Han Solo.
Yeah, it's a little tough for me, but I feel like I got to go top as well. I do like Mando more than Boba Fett, but I agree with you with the Padme and Leia. Leia is definitely the better character. Natalie Portman might be a better actress, I guess, and whatever, but Leia is just the better character. Luke is a great character as well, but I just think Anakin's story is just more interesting. And I think like you said, Anakin, Darth Vader, one of the best characters of all time. Not even just science fiction. I think any story you give me, Darth Vader can compete with it. I'm gonna go top as well. Let's see what the chat is saying. We got Super Space Ace. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Top Han, Boba, and R2. Top. Oh, okay. Yeah. Top Han, Boba, and R2. So R2 at the bottom there. But yeah, I could see that I'm guessing you love R2 as well. Sorry, I can't read today. The movie canon saying top. Darth Vader is top 5, maybe 3 characters of all time. Mitchell Lawrence, top Han, Leia, and C-3PO. Gio comes back, maybe 2. I wonder who's 1 for him. I know, like he loves Matrix, but like, I don't think that's his favorite character, is it?
I think Batman is a favorite of his.
Okay, Batman. Yeah,
he loves Batman.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. For me, it's probably between Spider-Man, Batman, and Darth Vader. Like, as characters. And the one that has the most depth is Vader. Without a doubt.
I think Luke's got a good story arc. He goes from whiny farm boy, you made power converters, to a cocky, and then he becomes a cocky, Jedi wannabe. But then he becomes a calm, patient Jedi.
He really does.
Who realizes that the only way to defeat the Emperor is to turn his father and bring the good side back. Yeah. So he's got a very good character arc that they screw up in the sequel trilogy, but that's we're just talking on the original trilogy.
Mitchell Lawrence saying those the bottom has Chewbacca, R2D2 are also my favorite. Okay.
I just gotta say Mitchell Lawrence has got a great avatar of Q from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, okay. Is that where he's from? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
John Delancey.
Blur Dad Life, tough choice. Going with bottom. Luke brought forth redemption.
argue
see.
with that.
Honorable mentions: Chewbacca and R2. Yep. Super Space Ape. Ben's description of Anakin in New Hope made him seem badass and tragic in just a few lines. The prequel trilogy showed us a whiny emo dude turn into Vader. The prequels diminished Vader. Ouch. Well, you know,
Oh, he didn't like sand.
he didn't like sand.
It's everywhere.
Man.
It's everywhere.
And he had to hang out with Jar Jar. Like, I'd be a little whiny too, a little emo, you know. Yeah, it's Batman. Okay. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Some top or bottom. We kept 20 in the house the whole time, so apparently people were watching, having a good time, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, we got some more figures to talk about, and let's go ahead. I want to talk about. This. Okay, scum and villainy. All right, so
That's my high school yearbook photo.
which one's you?
It's, I was 20 pounds short, less than, so.
Oh, that's awesome. This is actually really cool, man. Sideshow's doing a lot of cool stuff, and it you know, it's pretty cool that they're reissuing Jabba the Hutt. I know it's a little bit more expensive. I actually don't have a picture of that here, but I think it's going for like what is it like? Is it 1,000? Oh,
yeah,
1,025.
Yeah.
Which for what it is isn't that bad. I think it was originally like 900, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 8 something.
And that's really cool. Jedi has it. I've seen his. Really cool looking piece. But guys, forgive me. I'm sorry. The guy in the middle, can't think of his name.
Bib Fortuna.
Yes. I kind of want him.
Yeah, you know, I could see you can get him if you have I have Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, and I have Boba Fett's throne from the TV show. So
Ooh, nice.
he was, if you recall, in the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, Bib Fortuna was sitting on the throne. So you could conceivably get that and put that with those figures. Boba Fett shot him then.
Yeah.
But I think if you're I'm happy for Graham, because if he wants these, he can get some of these figures and complete that diorama that he's got, building there, which looks really awesome. I think it doesn't look like Hot Toys is doing these. So I think,
Why not?
If you want some or all these figures, this is a good opportunity to pick them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know some people have not, kind of crapped on Sideshow's figures, but I will say last year I got the David figure from the Lost Boys, and the figures is a good figure, I think, and it's a solid figure. I know sometimes they people have said that the older Sideshow figures the bodies haven't been as solid, but mine's a pretty solid figure. So hopefully these ones and the ones I know the Scum and Villainy with Greedo and Walrus Man, Ponda Baba, Dr. Evazan, that those are solid figures as well.
Yeah. I think these bodies are getting better. I think Sideshow's coming along. I'm not saying they're up to Hot Toy standards or anything like that, but I've been hearing a lot more better things with these figures, such as which one just came out? The not Pennywise, but the oh my gosh, Beetlejuice. Yeah. I'm hearing good things.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a cool line. I think it's really cool. I think, the more Star Wars, the better, especially for those collectors that want everything. And they're, even if you don't want them all, there's a couple that you might want to add to your collection. So,
yeah, I see these figures, not to say that you couldn't just get a couple of these and one or two other Hot Toys Star Wars figures and call it a day.
Yeah.
But I tend to think if you're going to invest in these or the Scum and Villainy figures, you're a nut job collector like me, who's got like 80 Star Wars Hot Toys figures or something like that, or more. And if you're like me and you're going to get one of these, it's kind of like there may not be front and center. There might be like the background guy, like on your
Yeah.
shelf, and that you're good with that. And I think that's totally appropriate, and that's good. You're probably not getting Weequay or one of the other skiff guards or Bib Fortuna, and then just getting a stormtrooper and calling it a day. You're getting these, like, if you're like me and you got like a whole bunch of these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool, man. I love seeing stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of like what Jazz is doing as well, doing some other Batman stuff that we're not seeing Hot Toys do. And, I think it's cool to have all that throughout your collection, throughout the community. So let's go. Big Dog Pound saying, I have to give Sideshow their flowers. The Scum and Villainy line looks amazing. It really, really does. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. Okay.
For me, I may pick up that Bib Fortuna, and I'm probably going to get Greedo when that comes out.
Ooh, yeah. I almost forgot about Greedo. Greedo will be fun, as well, especially to put with Han.
First.
I know this one. It's been talked about a lot lately. I want to briefly discuss it on here. I got something blocking my screen though. Okay. So we got Darth Vader from Rebels, which I think is a Hano line. Okay. I gave this figure a lot of crap because I thought, it wasn't, the material from the pictures that I remember seeing at the beginning just almost looked like really, really, really cheap. It kind of reminded me of the symbiote Spidey that Hano did that almost looked like thin pajamas to me. And I just didn't like it. And I couldn't believe they were doing it with Darth Vader of all characters. Like, don't ruin Darth Vader. I started seeing more pictures of this Vader and I'm like, okay, I get it. It's for a specific set of people, for people who love Rebels and kind of want that look from Rebels Darth Vader. I get it. And it actually kind of looks like it turned out a little better than I thought it would. It doesn't mean I'm going to get this figure. No, I'm probably not. I do love the red eyes though. I love the red lenses. Looks really, really cool. I would love to see more Rebels figures as well. However, it kind of bothers me a little bit because if we get more Rebels figures, what's that going to do with the Ahsoka line? So we ended up getting all these Ahsoka figures, like Ahsoka, Hera, and so like Chopper and all that. So what happens if we get more Hano figures from Rebels? Is that going to diminish the Ahsoka line for most people because they want the original look from Rebels? What do you think about that, Adam?
I think I think there's some people who do want a figure that is representative of the animated series. I'm not one of them. I have 4 Darth Vaders and I have a 5th one on the way. But I talking about choose to collect, like I love something near and dear to your heart. I love the Into the Spider-Verse series, but I've chosen not to collect, as awesome as they look. And I've seen yours, videos of yours. I've seen Graham's got them, others have them, and they look really awesome. 100%, they look awesome. But the reason I've chosen not to collect. And I have Marvel Legends of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse figures at my office at work. But I haven't gotten the Hot Toys ones just because I don't feel like they fit into the realistic. Because the Marvel figures I have are all MCU, with the exception of the Black Suit Spider-Man.
Okay.
Because that looks like it looks like it fits in with the Toby and with the Garfield and with the Holland figures. So for this kind of same principle, I'm kind of sticking to the movie authentic versions of these.
Yeah. Okay.
What I wonder is, it's interesting that they haven't chosen to announce animated versions of the characters from Rebels. like Kanan
What's up,
and
Yomo?
like Yomo, like Zeb and some of the others.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we haven't gotten a Zeb. I really am. I have a feeling though, if he's going to be a bigger part in the movie, then we'll see like
They'll
a
probably
live
get him
action
then.
version of him there.
Yeah.
But I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we see a Rebels Hano Zeb. You know what I mean? Like I could see that.
Yeah.
Maybe even before the movie. But no, this is cool. I am worried about the material still. We'll see. I mean, I'm already worried about the material when I get a Hot Toys Darth Vader, let alone getting something that's a little cheaper. You know what I mean? And we'll see. We'll see. But are you getting this?
No, I'm passing.
Okay.
I'm getting. I have the Empire. I have the Obi-Wan. I have the Return of the Jedi. I have a New Hope, and then I have the. I don't know what it's called, but it's like the is it the epic one or the battle damaged where you see Anakin's face?
Yeah.
The one that's coming out.
The mythic one or whatever they call it.
Yeah, that I have that in pre-order.
Okay. Yeah, that one looks really, really cool too. Big Dog Pound saying, I love Star Wars Rebels. This is a scary proposition for my wallet, but I prefer the main Hot Toys line. I got to put my foot down. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you got to choose. Can't have it all. Can't have it all. But, okay. Something else to talk about. Good old Star Wars. We got this guy. Now, I don't know much about this one. I do think it looks pretty cool. Kind of like that stainless steel look. And I know he's from Bad Batch. But do you know anything about the character, Adam, at all?
I don't. I watched the first like 2 or 3 episodes of Bad Batch, and it didn't really hook me. So I haven't seen any of the others. I can tell you, I'm looking for just a basic, no, like not a 500 first, just basic clone trooper, like a white clone trooper. I wish they would reissue that, like they've done with the Stormtrooper. Because it's pretty on eBay. It's pretty expensive to get a basic clone trooper. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I'm not really into the. Is this a chrome version or is this?
I mean, I don't. Let me see here. I'm not sure if it's like a chrome version or. All right, let's read it here. So, Star Wars Bad Batch 1/6 scale elite squad trooper. After the formation of the Galactic Empire, select group of top soldiers. Okay. The collectible figure is specially crafted to capture a distinctive look of these specialized soldiers as seen in Star Wars The Bad Batch, featuring sleek gray armor. The armor's precise detailing emphasizes the trooper's elite status within the Imperial ranks. The figure also comes with a data pad, a rocket launcher, a blaster rifle, or a long blaster rifle, and a figure stand. So I don't know.
Cool.
It does. It looks pretty cool.
That gun. And I know there's a lot of. Listen, I know Valkyrie Magnus is a troop builder, and I actually myself I just got yesterday that I had points at Sideshow. I got a second Death Star Stormtrooper because on my shelf where I have the Emperor and Tarkin, I wanted to have like a Stormtrooper with the Death Star background on each side of the shelf.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So, I get people want to troop build these things.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Do you how many troopers do you have?
I get 2 Stormtroopers. I got 1 Sand Trooper.
I need a Stormtrooper. I can't believe I do not have a Stormtrooper. Come on.
I have a Scout Trooper.
I love Scout Troopers. That might be my favorite trooper as a Scout.
I have the one that was a lot of controversy about whether that was an exclusive that they just announced.
The Range Trooper.
The Range Trooper that we all queued up for. Yeah, I have that. I have a Purge Trooper. And I think that's it. I also have Captain Rex.
So you have a lot. That's pretty sweet.
I have like 80 Star Wars figures.
Wow. Look at you, man. And you're, by the way, man, let me just do something here real quick for you. Or for me, really. Let me just zoom in. I'm going to solo layout. Man, your collection and your room is just looking really, really nice right now. I love the way you got the comic books on the wall alongside your figures. Below you have comic books. You got a Star Wars poster on your door. You got the DeLorean there on what looks like a table next to you. Just looks amazing in the flight mode. Dude, I don't even know. I need you to do a tour because I really want to see what you have. I would love to do it your way too, because I love it when you do it however you want, obviously. But like when you do your unboxings with your daughter and everything, and how you guys both kind of like get excited about the figure together. It'd be cool to kind of see that in your room tour as well. You know, like, so I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully one day soon. I wonder what's going to come first, my Paul Atreides or Adam 12's room tour. Let's see.
Probably the room tour, because that's probably coming soon.
Okay.
There is a couple of figures I'm waiting for. I just, I want to put out and we're going to do. I want to give a big shout out. A few weeks ago, I'm terrible at putting things together. And my nephew and his wife, my niece, came by, and these 3 glass cases, they painstakingly put together. And, shout out to Graham, Jedi Knights Watch. I got the idea for him to put a riser up so you can see these things. And they put that was the easy part. I got that from Walmart, but they put the riser together. But I got that from that idea from him. And, they for a few weeks.
Can I ask you about your risers real quick before we move on? So are you, if you don't mind me asking, is your room on the first floor? Or is it on a second floor?
Second floor. Yep.
Okay. So okay, because I'm on the second floor here too. And when I put my like detofs and everything on risers, I feel like it gets really shaky. Because I have little ones, so they run around, not necessarily in this room, but in the hallway, like right there is the hallway. And I worry that those things are just going to crash down. But now that I know that you have them on risers, I feel a little better.
Well, now Emily's 17 now, so I don't worry about.
That's true.
A few years ago, I wouldn't have done this. And the dogs aren't allowed up here. We keep the dogs downstairs, so I don't have to. Not that the dogs are, but you never know. So yeah, I'm in upstate New York. Knock on wood, we don't get the California earthquake, so I'm not.
Oh yeah.
We'll get an earthquake occasionally, but knock on wood, not. Nothing apocalyptic.
Yeah, right. Man. Yeah, vibrations can kill your collection. That's what I am so worried. That's why I have to use stands too. I live in a quiet, like not a cul-de-sac, but like a circle. So the only people, the school bus comes in, and the neighbors, my next door neighbors, and the mailman and the UPS guy bringing my Hot Toys figures. That's the only. Yeah, that's the only people coming by here. Yeah, this is a interesting comment. I ordered the dueling effect Vader. Surprised it hasn't sold out yet. I'm actually kind of surprised it's not sold out either. It's a very interesting, unique. Maybe the longer it sits up there, I'm more like getting the push to just say, okay, fine, come home to me. It's okay. I kind of, there's just something about it. We always make jokes like it's like the Mondo Vader, which kind of does look like a Mondo Vader, but it looks kind of cool. I like it.
Did you ever see a figure and you're like, first, either you really want it, and then like after a while, I'm like, nah, I'm not getting that. Or you really don't like it, and then like, you know what? You come around to it, but then, so you go back and forth in these figures.
Yeah, well, because at first you don't want it because it's like, oh, why are they doing that? It's not part of the movie. It's not how he looks. Like, what the heck? And then you look at it again. You're like, okay, I can see who wants that. And, there are people like that. You look at it a third time. You're like, wait, am I one of those people? Do I want that? do I want it? Yeah, we'll see.
Some figures are, I think, just. No disrespect for the photographers who for Hot Toys or in our whatever, who do the blogger photos or the announcement photos, but sometimes you need to see the figure like in the wild, in someone's videotaping it and doing an unboxing, or at their home in real lighting conditions, and you really see whether you like a figure. And I mean, obviously some figures you see right away, like you don't care, you're getting that. Like Jar Jar, I'm getting that figure. It don't matter.
Yep,
but
it does not. Nope.
Other figures are like, you know what? I like the way that looks, but you gotta be patient and wait for those videos to come in.
Yeah, very true, very true. Adam, we're coming up to the end of the show here. We got kind of a shorter episode tonight, but we talked a lot of Star Wars. If it wasn't for Star Wars, I don't think there would be a lot of other movies out there. Okay, I don't think we would have gotten a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I don't think we would have gotten. I honestly, there might be a possibility we would never gotten the MCU. Like just the way what Star Wars did for cinema in general, and what it did for science fiction. That I think and still around today. It's cool to talk with you, with a big Star Wars fan, one of the biggest Star Wars fans in the community. I really love, guys. Check out One Adam 12's video. Whether you're in the live stream now after the show, go check out his channel. He's got a really great video on Star Wars that I remember one of the first videos I watched of his. That was a lot of fun. I love hearing stories about that. And hopefully see more videos like that from you, Adam. But what's going on in your channel as of late?
Well, first of all, I love being on your show, Brick, and you're such a great host and a gracious host, and you run a fast-paced and engaging show. So I appreciate you having me on as always. You really are a service to the community, and really appreciate you. So Star Wars, we got one of those exclusives. I went on eBay and got the Galen Urso. Since they announced it, and I'm like, man, I gotta get this. So I got the Galen Urso this week from there was the Celebration Japan exclusive, and I just did a really quick like 3-minute unboxing just to get it out there. So if you only have 3 minutes, check it out. It's up there now. And kind of what I mentioned about sometimes you gotta wait and see those videos in person. I hope like the videos that I do with Emily, my daughter, are like just fun. It's an opportunity for her and I to bond and talk, geek stuff. And it's also, I hope just an opportunity to, it's not the high skilled unboxings, great camera angles. It's just like what a figure looks like if you get it from the FedEx guy or the UPS guy or the postman, and you bring it onto your kitchen table or the island in your kitchen, and you open up the box, you put it right there.
I love that.
That's what it looks like. So that's what we try to do, and I really enjoy them. Kind
of like we're sitting in your kitchen or in with you. It's just really cool. Like we're part of it with you. It's really cool.
And I like getting I'm if I'm Geek 1.0, my daughter is Geek 2.0. So like hearing her thoughts on these things. So check out that'd be great, that video. I appreciate the plug there on like what Star Wars means to me. Check that out. It's something I recorded last May the 4th. But I'll just say thank you to George Lucas and John Williams, because if you didn't have John Williams music, I say that he wrote the soundtrack to my life, and his music. I've been listening to Star Wars music all weekend in the car, driving around, doing errands, and just amazing his music.
I can see you pulling up to like the pharmacy or something. All they hear is da 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 da, and you're like dun, 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 dun. You're just like rolling down the window.
It's funny you mentioned. I went to Walgreens and they had the battle. I had the Battle of the Heroes come on.
That's perfect.
So it's Star Wars has given me so much happiness over the last 48 years, and I hope it's around another 50 years to give me and my daughter and future generations that I really we talked about where Star Wars is its deathbed, and I hope not. I hope it's like the line that Obi-Wan says to Vader in episode 4, strike me down and I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. And I hope Star Wars becomes more powerful than we can possibly imagine. So again, thanks again. Just a quick plug. I'll be on the Movie Canon Geo show tomorrow night. He's going to have a all-star panel. Are you on that too? Talking?
I am not on it tomorrow. It's my wife's birthday tomorrow, so I can't be on anything. But I will be on his show. I believe it's on the 8th, which I think is Friday.
Friday, yep.
Yep, I'll be on that show.
So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Western time, whatever time, whatever galactic time.
Or whatever,
I don't know what time it is on Coruscant, but we'll be talking Star Wars. So it should be a fun show. Check it out.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. May the 4th be with you all. For me, it's the Bugle 6, man. We have the Bugle 6 every first and third Saturday night of the month. If there is a 5th Saturday in the month, then we will be on that night as well at 6 p.m. So I always like to say Bugle 6 at 6 p.m. That is Central Standard Time. Usually we have Flavio on the show. Flavio right now is celebrating his wife and him, and they're out with family and really cool areas. I'm not going to say exactly where he's at because, privacy, but just a lot of good times for him. Have a good vacation, Flavio. Hopefully you're able to watch the show or listen to it as you fall asleep in your Airbnb. But yeah, looking forward to having him back here the next episode, issue number 35 it will be. Which is crazy because we only do bi-weekly, so it's going by fast here. And yeah, man, Adam, thank you so much, man. You're always a blast to stream with, whether it's on Wolfpack, Geo's channel, my channel, no matter what. I always have a blast. I feel like anything and everything that you really talk about is just, it's intriguing because the way that you talk about it. And I love having you on the show. And all the guys on Movie Canon on Geo Stream is just a lot of fun to hang out with. They're just good people. So yeah, once again, guys, go check out the Movie Canon. And other than that, I got 2 videos I'm working on. 2 videos, and yes, both of them are Hot Toys videos. I'll give you a hint on one of the videos that's going to be coming out. The last video I did on Lego, it's going to be like that, but with Hot Toys. And then I got another video coming as well. Hopefully I can get more reviews out. I really want to update some stuff, man. Like I moved my Mondo Spider-Man figures were up there. I moved them over here, which I don't like because those two Spider-Verse figures, Spider-Punk and 2099 did not fit. That's really hard. Did not fit very well in there with those two. And then I messed up my Miles pose. I was trying to get him back to where he was originally, and he's never going to be the same again, and I'm very frustrated. So yeah, a lot of personal stuff.
It's other than that, with figures, it's work. It's like,
oh man, it's never the same. It's never. And I'm trying to build this Razor Crest. Hold on. I got to show what it looks like right now. So this is what it's looking like so far.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is a UCS.
That is
got a lot of detail inside. We'll be. Hold on. Which way am I going? Yeah. You got like a. Where is it? Yeah. There's like a helmet in there and stuff. I don't know. It's really cool. It's cool stuff. Looking forward to finishing this. Like I said, I got the UCS Millennium Falcon in the basement. Because that's where it fits right now. But no, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, chat, for being so lively today as well, being part of the games and all that good stuff. Everyone saying happy birthday to Mrs. Artemis, happy anniversary to Mr. Flavio.
Happy anniversary.
May the 4th be with you guys always. And we got Mike Litteris, another Brickyard member, saying he is driving and listening. I'm not sure if that's the You Rock or the Too Sweet, but either way, too sweet. And yeah, thanks for being here, Mike. I appreciate that. Dude, by the way, Mike, one of these days we got to get like comic fans, whether they're casual comic fans or like big time comic fans, and just like talk nerd stuff, like comic books. Like even if you used to be a comic guy, like, I don't know, that sounds fun. I know there's a stream out there. I know there's a stream out there. I want to say like Lael used to do something like that. I'm not sure if he still does or not. And then maybe Collecting Weekly does something with comic books. I can't remember, but yeah, definitely do something like that. Yomo gifted a Brick Artemis membership for the Brickyard. I'm not sure who got it. Let me see. Oh, looks like Blurred Dad Life got it. All right.
Nice.
Saying thanks, Yomo. Well, hey, Blurred Dad Life, welcome to the Brickyard. Let's go. Now you will be able to be entered into the giveaway next week or next 2 weeks from now. We'll see what we got. I was thinking about giving away one of my Spider Punks because I have 2 of them. I was like, nah, I'm not ready to give away a figure yet. I'm just not ready for that. But thank you, Yomo. It means a lot giving that away. So thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Okay. Mike saying that'd be awesome. Leo still does. Okay. I thought it was Leo. But yeah, I don't know. Do something. Either way, I just got to get you back onto a live stream, Leo. All right. I'm not going to drag this anymore. Thank you guys for being here. All that good stuff. And until next time, make sure you keep bricking. And as always, choose to collect. Choose to collect.